What's up, my Blender family? Since you're here, you probably want to know how to create those mechanical tentacles from Marvel's Dr. Octopus, or you're just interested in understanding how to use the curve modifier and the array modifier at the same time. Either way, you are in the right place. Now, this picks up kind of from the middle because this is from one of our Skillshare classes, but don't worry, we've got you covered. We're going to provide you with the model so you can follow along. If you would like to, once again, if you're interested in any one of our classes on Skillshare, we'll hook you up with absolutely free links. Just let us know. Enjoy.
We're going to make those tentacles, and we are going to try to make that quite efficiently. So I'm going to select my code, press tab, and I'm going to select or press 1 on my keyboard and just select our vertex that I think is a nice start for those tentacles. So press Shift S, cursor to selected. And I'm going to press tab, go out of edit mode, and I'm going to press Shift A and choose curve and path. Okay, notepad 1, side view, press G, X. There we go. Move that to the left a little bit, like this. And we want this curve to just be wild. So this is going to be one of the tentacles. So just curve this however you feel that it should be curved. Of course, we need to go a little bit to the outside, like this, like that, and extrude it forwards a little bit, like so. That is great. And let's press Ctrl A, all transforms, and right mouse set origin to 3D cursor. I just want the origin to start right there. And I'm going to press Shift A, mesh plane, RY 90. Actually, we don't need to do RY 90. We're going to scale this down like this, and we're going to try to make those tentacle shapes. I'm not sure what they look like, but I'm sure we can figure out something. So press Tab, enable X-ray, press Ctrl R. Let's actually first add a modifier, subdivision surface, and set this to 2. Now let's press Ctrl R about 3 times right there, and 3 times right there as well. And let's just select that one, press G and X, move it out a little bit. Select this one and move it in a little bit. And select those 2 points, press G and X, move them out a little bit. And I think that's already looking nice. I'm going to select this one and this one by holding Shift, press S and Y, and just scale that down a little bit. So now we've got a nice and unique looking shape. Now I'm going to press Tab, A, E, and extrude that a little bit. Actually, I'm going to press Ctrl Z a few times, like that, just so we are back at where we started. I'm first going to apply this subdivision modifier. So press Ctrl A on that, and there we go. Press Tab, A, E, and extrude that. Let's see, something like that. Now, what I want to do is disable X-ray for a second. Press 3, so we've got a face select. And what I'm going to do is press notepad 7, so we go into top view. So I want to extrude this whole part once again, because I want a little bit of like the thickness switch. So press Tab, press Shift D, Z, and let's scale that down. Press S, there we go. And make them match or make them touch just slightly, like this. Right mouse, shade smooth. The other one as well, shade smooth. Go to object data properties, normals, and hit auto smooth for both of the parts. There we go. Now hold Shift and select both of them, hit Ctrl J, and now it is one object. All right, so we scaled this down quite hard. So press Ctrl A and apply all transforms. Press right mouse, set origin to geometry, Shift S, selection to cursor. Okay, so now we've got the cursor, or sorry, we've got the origin of the curve and our object on the same point. And now we can select our curve, or sorry, we can select our object, go to modifiers, and we can choose array. There we go. And I'm going to set this to the Z-axis for now on 1 and just up the count so we can actually see what we're doing. And we want this to curve with this curve. So we're going to add a modifier and go to curve. And I am now going to select the curve. So click on the eyedropper and hover over your path. There we go. So something weird is happening right now. We can fix that by changing the deform axis. So we have to go with Z, and now it starts on the wrong side of the curve. So we can try -Z. Alright, so that didn't do anything. Let's try -1 right here. Alright, so it starts on the wrong side of the curve. And why is that? Well, I actually have no clue at this point. But that's fine. We can play around with it and it should work eventually. So we do need Z. Maybe if I actually it doesn't even matter. If we set this to 1 and we just up the count up to where it touches the shirt, it will be fine. All right, so we have tentacle. And we want to have this 2 more or 3 more times. So I'm going to select both my object and the path, and I'm going to press number 3, Shift D, and move that to the other side a little bit. Or actually don't, just rotate it. There we go. Press Shift D once more, escape, rotate it to the bottom, Shift D, escape, rotate it once again. And now we can just change those curves. So select NURBS path 1 in your viewport on the right, press tab, and just move that curve around so it's a little bit different than the other ones. Press E. That's going to be hella nice. All right, so now press number 0, and we can see that each tentacle is looking a little bit different, and that's really nice. So what we're going to do next is actually add these clouds, and I'm going to make them very quickly. So press Shift A, mesh and plane. It's all hard surface modeling. That's always a little bit easier than the rest. Press G and X and move that out a little bit. And press S and Y like this. Press Tab, press 2, and let's select this edge and press G and X. Move it out a little bit, and G and Z. Move that up a little bit. Now press E, Z, and G, X, E, Z, and GX, move it in a little bit, like so. That's looking like one of those tentacles. Let's select this one, press GX, move that in a little bit. And let's scale this up, and let's scale this up as well. And finally this one as well, like this. Scale this one down a little bit, maybe. Like so. This one a little bit as well, like that. And let's select this last one and press E, Z, and GX. And this one can be quite small. Something like that is going to be fine. GX, GZ. All right, so that's one of those claws. And actually, this was G and X. Something like that. Let's press A. And actually, press tab. Go out of edit mode and add a modifier. We're going to do that the easy way. And add a solidify. And increase the thickness to the inside just a little bit like that. I think that looks quite nice. Hit Ctrl A on the solidify modifier, press tab, select this top edge and press G and Z and move that up a little bit just to have some thickness variation in the whole part. Same here and same here. G and X, move it in a little bit. This one as well, GZ, move it up. And this one, GX, move it in a little bit like that. Now, I think that looks quite all right. We can actually make this look a little bit better by pressing tab. And let's add 2 edge loops right there. Left click and escape. And actually, let me show you how I did this. Press Ctrl R and scroll up once. So you have 2 edge loops. Left click, escape, press S and Y and scale that outwards a little bit like that. Now we're going to select those inner planes and we are actually going to extrude this. Press E and just extrude this, let's say a little bit to the X direction, so lock it to X. And press GZ and move it down as well. Like so. GX, be sure it doesn't clip. Something like this, looking fine. Alright, press tab, press 3, and just delete this face in front. And let's delete this one as well, delete face. Press 1. And let's connect these 3 vertices. 3, sorry. And these 3 as well by pressing F and select those middle 4 and hit F and that will connect them. All right, so that's looking fine. Now we can press numpad 7. We can, let's see what we're going to do. Press Shift A, hit empty plane axis. Press G and X, move that to about there. Now select our object. But first select our empty. Shift S, cursor to selected. Select our object, right mouse, set origin, origin to 3D cursor. Okay, so the reason we're doing this is to actually mirror this object, but around the empty. So we actually have something like a circular pattern. So let's go to add modifier. Let's go to array, and we're going to deselect relative object, and we're going to go with object offset. Now open this up and select our empty with the eyedropper tool. Looking beautiful. Press Ctrl A, apply all transforms, right mouse, set origin, origin to 3D cursor. There we go. Now nothing is looking different, and that's because we have to rotate this empty. So let's see how much we want to rotate this. We want to have 3 of those claws, so we need 120 degrees. So press R, Z 120. There we go. And let's up the value of the array modifier to 3. There we go. Looking quite all right. All right, so what I'm going to do next is apply this. So press Ctrl A, press Tab, and I'm going to select those corner vertices on the top right there. And also the bottom right there. Like this. And I'm going to hit Shift D, Escape, P, separate selection, and press Tab, and just select that new object and press Tab. And we're going to press 2 to go into Edge Select, and we're going to start connecting some of those edges. So select 2 of them by holding Shift and press F. Now select that one and the next one, hit F, and continue that pattern until you close the whole circle like this. Now double click on those edge loops on the bottom, press F, do the same thing for the top, double click and press F. And now we've got a closed part, and that's looking quite nice. And to add some detail, I'm just going to select that middle part, press Tab, press 3, and hit that top face, and press I to inset, something like this. Left click and press E, and just extrude that a little bit, so you get some nice differences in height. All right, so now I'm going to select my class, hold Shift, select the middle part, and press Ctrl J. There we go. What I'm going to do next is select this tentacle, press Tab, press 1, and actually we selected the object, not the curve, so I'm going to select that curve, so it's a NURBS pad 3 for this one. Press Tab, select that final point, Shift S, cursor to select it. Now hit Tab to go out of edit mode, select our new object. We already have the origin set, right? So what we do now is press Shift S and hit selection to cursor, scale this down with S, something like that, and let's rotate this so it actually matches the direction of the claw. So just rotate it in the viewport to the direction of your camera, right? So if you wanted to rotate, for example, in this way, you go to the top. You can also press numpad 7 and then rotate it, but I want to align it with one view side of this object. So it's going to be this, it's going to be this side, and it's going to be this side as well. And then just try to match it to the normal direction of this tentacle. Now hit Shift D, just escape. We don't need that for now. We want to select NURBS 2, press Tab, select that final point again, Shift S, cursor to selected, press Tab, and select the copied claw, Shift S, selection to cursor, and just rotate this again. So we need to go to the side view of that claw first, rotate that, do the same thing for the other sides, the other axis, and that's already looking fine. All right, you can also go to the front part and rotate that a little bit so it's a little bit with an offset, rotate it a little bit more, and press G to move it so it doesn't clip with your tentacle, like that. And do the same thing for this one. So you can see it clips a little bit. Just move it to the outside a little bit like that. Now the NURBS pad 1 tab, Select the final point, Shift S cursor to select it. It's very repetitive at this point. Select your claw, Shift D, escape, Shift S, selection to cursor. And let's go ahead and rotate it. I'm just going to do it quickly now because you know what we have to do, right? So move that out. Make sure it doesn't clip. That's the last thing you want to happen. Something like this, a little bit of an offset maybe. There we go. Final one. There we go. I'm going to rotate this just a little bit with an offset. There we go. Like the, oh, that's going crazy. Something like that. All right, looking amazing.